Hello, hello, everybody and everyone, and welcome this evening. This is going to be a not necessarily a replacement of the Tarot After Dark, but we want to give you guys something since we will not be here tomorrow night. As you can see, I have Mindless Maturity here with us. He is a regular, and you all know and love him. Say hello to the people, Mindless.
Hello, hello.
And we have a new friend, old friend, Melinda. Melinda has been my personal reader and spiritual advisor for a little over a year now, and I love and trust her. And I figured that she would have a lot of knowledgeable insight to this discussion. So we're talking love languages, y'all. And Melinda, say hello to the people. I'm sorry. All right, so we're discussing love languages. And let's just run down a list of the different types. There's five of them. We have gift giving, we have quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and physical touch. So, what are y'all's top two or three love languages?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I I actually took a test on this because I told Alexis earlier it's not my specialty, but I guess my number one is acts of service, and my number two is words of affection. That kind of surprised me. I would have assumed words of affection would be number one, but that's what the
Really?
results were. So
You know what? Mindless, what about you?
I ain't gonna lie, she kind of got mine. It's in the
Same
exact
one?
same
Same
order.
order?
In the exact same. I mean, you should know that with me. Like I'm definitely like a doing type of person. I'm all about action, and especially the second one would definitely for me would be obviously words, because I
Okay.
love words. You know, I'm very big on communication. So
me too.
yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. Nothing different.
Yeah. See, okay, so like acts of service is my like go-to, but unless you're like right there, it's kind of hard to get that consistently. So like acts of service and quality time are like right there together for me. And then the words.
Hmm.
Like I know you like me, but I want to hear it. You know, you
I
know.
like to hear it too.
Yeah, we like to hear it sometimes. Make us
Yeah,
feel good,
it
compliment
does.
here or there. You're
Mhm.
doing a good job, proud of you. That goes a long way.
Does.
So what I did is I compiled a list with the help of there's an article that I read. What is this? This is called Cobalt. And they actually made a list based on work situations. And when I took a look at it, I kind of tweaked some of them to make it fit romantic relationships. So the first one is open communication. And with the communication, you got to be open because no one can read your mind, right? Like we expect people to know. And I know sometimes, especially we as women, it's like, oh, he should know better than that. But but we have to tell them sometimes. And Miles tells me all the time because I could call him and be like, oh, I can't believe he's just so stupid. He's like, yeah, because men are stupid. Like we are. You gotta tell us.
I tell her
No
that all
offense,
the
guys.
time. I tell her that all the time.
He tells me that all the time. No offense, guys, but I mean, I understand, and it took a while to understand. Okay, well, Lex, he can't read your mind, so you gotta tell him what's bothering you, what you need, what you want. You two, any thing you want to add to that? Maybe a recent experience you would like to share with us about communicating with your person, or
Me?
just anything. Yeah, either one of you.
I agree with you. You know, nobody's a mind reader. I mean, you
Hmm.
and I are both intuitives and
Right,
probably pick up more than maybe most people.
right.
And when we're connected, you know, with our partner, I mean, mine is actually really psychic. He's a Scorpio like you,
Oh
and he's
wow, that's
very
cool.
psychic. So I've noticed we have an intuitive kind of thing. And sometimes
That
I
is it.
know probably not for everybody, but sometimes, you know, we'll just think it and it'll kind of come happen in real life. But it's also
That
important to
does happen.
say the words out loud,
Hmm.
whatever it is, you know. not bottle it up, I guess.
Right.
Like
Because when it comes
yeah.
out harsh usually.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I've had some experiences lately where there was a little miscommunication, and it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, and then he felt kind of bad because so I've definitely learning every day that direct communication is the best.
It is.
Clarity, and Scorpios can usually take it and appreciate it and just be there, so
cool. You got one of the good Scorpios.
I love Scorpios.
You got one of the good Scorpios. Miles Maturity, what would you like to add about communicating or a recent experience you would like to share?
I'll tag along with, right behind what she's saying and follow up. Like one thing I always express in my marriage, as well as I try to give other couples advice, is very important to have what I call adult time. And during adult time, you got to have those uncomfortable conversations. I call it, you got to give it the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you got to be able to accept your mate with the good, the bad, and the ugly of who they are. So if y'all not able to have those adult type of conversations where it's going to get uncomfortable, it's going to get heated, it's going to get very humbling, because you got to be yourself and accept that person for who they are when you have these kind of conversations. And you got to accept, and one thing I think we don't do a good job of when we're dating, as well as teaching our kids how to date, we don't teach them how to date a flawed person. We go into situations only focusing on the good qualities that we're looking for, and not really able to accept and understand the flaws that's going to come with it. You're going to meet somebody that's going to have flaws that you're not going to deal with. And the thing is, I always hear a lot of people I talk to, they always say, well, I ain't gonna like that, or I ain't gonna deal with that. Okay, well, date a doll, date a computer. You know what I'm saying? Find something that is not real, because you're going to meet a person that is a human being. And that's one thing, me and Lex talk about. And I tell her, I always laugh when I tell her, I say, when me and my wife get into it, I just say, hey, she's human. You know what I'm saying? We gotta accept that we human beings, and it's things that's going to get on our nerves. It's things that person is going to do that you just don't understand why they're doing it, and you gotta accept it at the end of the day that they're a human being.
That
we don't know how. We don't know how to date flawed people. We always try to put ourselves in situations or scenarios, like you said at the beginning. They should know better. No. If that's the case, we should always know better. We should never make mistakes. But guess what? We do. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to have those adult conversations, to acknowledge your flaws, and that person got to be willing to love and accept you with your flaws.
Right. Now, there is something you said, and it kind of goes into the next tip, and it says safety and structure. You want to feel safe and secure within any relationship that you're in, whether it's a friendship or you want to feel that your job is secure at where you work, but as well as your romantic relationship. You said you have to be able to be yourself, and that is feeling safe within the relationship, to know that I can be myself and my person is going to love me for who I am. Like, I had a situation, it damn near turned into an argument, but it was over the telephone. And it's like, hey, you don't answer the phone, because if you don't answer the phone, I'm going to start overthinking it. And I'm thinking, well, what would you do if I wasn't here? You would answer that phone. So why you can't answer it now? And, his reasoning made sense. And it seemed sweet at the time. And he was saying that, well, I'm with you, so my attention's on you. That sounds all well and good, but I plan on being here a long time with you. So if we're living together, what are you going to do? Not answer the phone? That makes no sense. So the safety and security to be yourself and to share your opinion without feeling like you're going to be judged. I lost my train of thought there. So you two feel free to kick in, because I just went blank on what I was about to say.
I mean, to be honest with you, I honestly do not answer my phone around my wife that much. Like,
Why?
I just don't. I just don't. It could be business. It could be anything. And she can
Yeah.
tell you, I would not answer my phone. I hate interacting with her and my phone call and I get a phone call. Because you gotta understand something when you are in a relationship, long term, short term, for me, life is too short. You know
Well,
what
I
I'm
mean, that's
saying?
different. If we're in the middle of something, then don't stop our conversation
I
or
mean,
what
just
we're doing to answer it.
anytime.
But if we're just sitting
Anytime.
here watching TV or you in the outside or some
I will
shit
not
like that,
answer it. I don't even have
really?
my phones in my bedroom. When
Really?
me and her in the
Well, I don't
bedroom,
either. I
my
don't either.
phones don't. I even get onto her sometimes. Like, why is the phone near the bed?
Yeah,
You
I
know what
don't.
I'm
I
saying?
don't. Yeah, I don't have it in
Like
there either.
I don't let electronics and all that stuff interfere with my vibe with my woman. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
I
now
get it.
if my kids are gone, and
Mm.
that's about the only time. If my kids are gone,
If
I
the
know I
kid's
need to
not
get it
home.
coming to you. We will have our phones for that special situation. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I rarely. And she can vouch for this. I rarely answer my phone around her, and we've been together for plus 5 years. So it's just something I don't do. I just don't.
Mm. Okay. Melinda, what do you think about the not either the phone situation or that was just an example, but
Sure.
yeah.
I think that's nice that you. I think that's nice that you don't answer your phone around your wife. Actually, I think
Yeah.
this is respectful
Yeah.
and kind. Actually, I think that's a good thing.
See, Scorpio. I mean, like, I answer that phone because what they calling about, especially if it's a female. Answer it.
I
I
just
need to
don't.
hear it.
I just
I do
don't.
What
the
are you
same
talking
thing.
about?
If it's a friend, I'm like, I'm here for you. I always respond, almost
Mhm.
immediately, but I do respect the idea of respecting, that
It
seems
makes
like,
sense, and I'm the same way, we both actually after a certain time in the night, both of our phones are put to do not disturb. And
yeah,
the only number that does come through is my son's number and
right.
his. So like if I'm not with him and he calls and it's late, his will come through. Or if I'm with him and my son's at home or whatever, my son can still get in touch with me, but
Yeah,
no one else gets through.
yeah.
So I
I
I,
do the
I
same.
understand it. I understand that. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit out of order here, because we were talking about safety and security, but what about the psychological security, like the mental part of things, like being able to be emotionally vulnerable, like, look, I'm not okay, and I need you to understand that I'm not okay, or this is what's going on.
Yeah. That's
Right.
like that was like the hardest learning lesson for me as a man.
Uh-huh.
Because like men, we're taught uh lack of emotions and
Mm-hmm.
uh we never was even taught vulnerability. Like men, we think about providing and protecting and
Mm-hmm.
um uh you know what I'm saying, leading. So like when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think that's like was something that I ain't gonna lie, I had to learn this stuff on the fly. And I think what really brought that ability was kids. With kids, it wasn't my wife that brought it, it was the kids. Because
Mm-hmm.
um you when you have the little people, I call them little people, you know what I'm saying, where they don't know better. So it's like you have to have some kind of sense of sympathy and understanding their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed me to understand my wife more on a sympathetic, but I had to learn it from the kids first for me to understand it, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
Becoming a parent is life changing on, every level. And what the author of this article put, because remember, I was saying this was, for the workplace, but it says a business must be a safe place to show vulnerability and admit mistakes. And in your relationship, you have to be able to, like, look, I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm sorry. And being open to understand, because the next one it's tying into the where our conversation is leading. It says show empathy and mutual respect. So like when we mess up, we want to be forgiven. We want to be shown, compassion and mercy. So like with my son, it's so funny because I tell Miles Maturity this all the time. My son is like very mature to be a 12-year-old. And sometimes I forget that he's 12 and till he does something. It's like, why? Why would you do that, son? And I have to remind myself, Lexi's just 12.
Right.
He's still a kid. As intelligent as he is, and as
his level
of comprehension and even the amount of integrity that this child has, he is still 12. So I'm gonna give you Melinda and Melissa a chance to elaborate on that, and any personal experiences before we go to the next tip here.
One thing that occurred, in the conversation is like mindless maturity said, we're, not used to dealing with flawed people, and everybody, almost everybody has some kind of trauma that they've experienced in their life, and they're working through that, and they're coming from that space. And, I've learned that in my relationship, my current relationship, he's been through a lot of trauma. So he's hurt, and so you're kind of dealing with layers on layers, our own trauma, our own past experiences. I came through a horrific marriage, abusive, so we kind of all, when we're at this point in life, we all have a little bit of baggage, and we're working through that, plus trying to make the connection, plus trying to, have a good experience with each other and a good time with each other. But there's always layers of, I don't know what you call it, issues.
And people have certain triggers that you have to learn as well. And it's like, well, this is going.
We all have them. And it can be tricky, to navigate that with a partner and understand what they need and how to respond, and vice versa. It can be a little tricky.
Absolutely. The next one, I'm trying to make it flow. We're going to skip a couple and then come back, because the flow of the conversation, it's weird. It's like they jump here and then way over across the street. So next one I want to point out is speaking in the other person's language, speaking their terms, because we like acts of service. They may like physical touch. That may be their thing. They may be quality time. They may be gifts. So that's in that communication, and knowing that what may work for me isn't going to work for my person. Understand that. I tell my customers this all the time. It's like, you can't expect people to respond the way that you do to certain situations, right? Hey, Janice, welcome, darling. We're talking about love languages and how to express and understand our loved ones, and feel free to add to the discussion as you choose. My person is, like I said, not very comfortable with words of affirmation. And when I do give them to him, he almost clams up a little bit, or he like brushes it off. So after the time that I've gotten to know him, he's not used to getting that. So I could be like, "Oh, you looking sexy." He'd be like, "Nah, I'm all right." Just brushed it off. Like, "Oh, well, you this is okay." He doesn't know how to receive it. So it's like, okay, I can't be showering you with too many compliments, because you gonna fall apart over here.
Hey, I'm the same way, so I understand. I'm the same way. I completely understand. I mean, I just don't. I'm not used to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to it at all. Like, I'm such a hard shell type of person when it comes to that. That yeah, I don't know how to take it either. Like she get mad at me all the time. She was like, "I'm gonna stop just complimenting you." I'm like, I don't know what you want me to how do I supposed to approach this after you say something? You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a type of dude. I get my gratification from like the outcomes that I gain.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like somebody like trying to flirt with me or something like that. I'm more of the aggressor than somebody being aggressed to
Uh-huh.
me. You know, so
Uh-huh.
it's different when it comes to that. And I think like your dude, he's a Capricorn and I'm a
Yeah, he's
Capricorn,
Capricorn.
and like most of us like Capricorn guys, they that's how a lot of us are.
I feel like Gifts is high on his, although he doesn't expect much and he doesn't ask for much. Like his first birthday that we spent together, I was like, well, what do you want to do? You know, blah blah blah. Oh, I just want to try this new this steakhouse. I've been passing it and I, kept saying I wanted to try it. So I was telling my frat brother wanted to go and he just made a reservation. So I got a reservation. Would you join me? I'm like, sure. So I go, he's like, well, I don't expect nobody to pay for my food or nothing like that. I invited you. And so I got there and I'm ordering all this stuff. And then the bill comes and I just hold my hand out. He was like, what are you doing? I said, give me that. And he was like, what? I asked you out. I said, you don't pay for your dinner on your birthday. You can buy me dinner next week, but it's your birthday. And so we left there, went to a second place, and we were sitting at the bar. He was like, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. He's like, here's my card, start a tab and order me this. So he's like, make sure you put it on mine. I was like, okay. So he gets back, he's like, you put it on mine, right? And so he's like, I don't want you paying for anything else. And just little things like he likes Johnny Walker Black, and so he had helped me out with a friend and something he really didn't have to do because it's not his friend, it was mine. And I was like, okay, I got something for you, and I gave it to him and he was just speechless. Like anytime I give him something, he doesn't know what to say, and I could just like his face, he can't stop smiling. And it's like, it's okay, like to get stuff, you deserve it. But yeah, it's silly self. But yeah, speaking the other person's terms, we have two more. Let's see, which one do I want to go with next? Celebration successes together. That's important. Like I can't think of anyone I would want with me besides my son and possibly my mom to celebrate with me. Like it doesn't matter. Like, oh well, I made my sales goal for the month. Let's go out, or I got this new contract. Let's do something. And he's the first person I want to share that with. Like I remember when I was first featured on Purple Ocean and I got the email and I sent it right to him and he's like, oh my God, congratulations. But yeah, celebrating your successes with one another. What's the time or where you have experienced that, either celebrating them or yourself or together? Anniversary, something, holidays, just whatever. It's like, you're it.
It's funny, even doing this tonight, I told him that I was doing this and I said, I'm a little bit nervous because, I'm not sure what to expect. And he's like, you'll do great. Don't worry about it. Everything. He's really,
you're in front of the camera all day.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I've had a couple offers lately to do podcasts and things like that. And he's the first person I want to tell. And he's the most supportive of like, you can do it. He's like, yay, Melinda. So it's really nice to have,
that's so sweet.
To share that, something, an opportunity or like you say, a celebration or something to be excited about, pop up and share it with them and have that positive feedback. Don't worry about it. You can do it. You're going to do great.
Yeah, it means a lot.
It means a lot. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, I can, like, just even our weekly live stream, like, I can feel a difference when he's in the chat and when he's not in the chat. And when he's not in the chat, why weren't you in the chat? I need you there. So, he's like, I worked late. I'm sorry. But yeah, mindless maturity.
Yeah, it's a great thing. That's one of the major benefits of being with somebody is um the the firecrackers. You know what I'm saying? I call it the fireworks, and because it it's just something about when you achieve something and somebody's there, or if they're achieving something and you're there, versus like you're achieving something and nobody's there. Like it's so many celebrations of events and stuff where you can see people and there's like nobody there for them, versus like somebody over there and they're getting that good hug and things like that. And it's like, man, like it's priceless. It's so priceless. Because it builds character in yourself as well. Because it will drive you to much more things.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things I have achieved, and I really don't think I would have done it or even would have been as ambitious as into doing it without that them little mini celebrations that we had that just motivated me to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Versus like, because there's a lot of people at my job, you know what I'm saying? They, I could tell, like, you could tell when somebody don't have like support around them, or they don't have somebody support, because their life and how they move is so mediocre versus how you will move when you have that other somebody as your cheerleader.
Makes a difference.
You move different. You definitely move different.
Oh yeah.
So it's just, that's what it's priceless. It's so priceless.
It is. Sometimes I could be out and I could see like couples doing stuff. I'm like, oh, me and him should do this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so cool when you see it. It gives you creativity and inspiration when you see it in other people and how they move. You know what I'm saying? It gives so much inspiration. So yeah, definitely.
All right. And the last and final tip on the list says, make sure you have a clear why. And I'm going to read their explanation of why this is important. It says, if you simply make demands, you run the risk that they will be ignored. Taking the time to explain why something must be done may slow things down in the short term, but it ensures things move as fast as possible while staying safe. So, yeah, like I've learned that over the course of maybe the last 10 years or so. I have a certain way of doing things, and being a mom has helped me do this more, because I do have a child that, he'll ask why, and I encourage that. And I explained to him, like, look, you have to do this because this, and the third. Like, we had a situation like with his grades. He's an A student, but sometimes he gets a little lazy and rebellious, and those grades slip a little bit. So maybe in Aiden, what grade was it in? Fourth grade or third grade? You asked me about your grades. Like, why were they important? Maybe third or fourth grade. And he was like, why do you care? They're my grades. Like, well, I care because you're my child and I'm responsible for you to do the best that you can. And I explained to him all the benefits. I was like, you want to play sports? Well, you can't play sports unless your grades are at a certain level. And I said, and I'm going to tell you a little secret that I found out. Teachers like the smart kids. You get special treatment when you're smart and you listen and you don't cause trouble. You get all the first dibs on things. You get all the nominations and recommendations on all the fun stuff because you're a good kid. Now you can get that and be an average kid, but you won't get as many opportunities.
Right.
And he's starting to see that because he had some teachers. He met them originally in STEM, and then the following year they actually became his teachers, and they already were in love with him. And they had one situation. It's like, well, it's not like him to be this way. And I told him, I said, don't you ever disrespect that lady again. I said, because she gave you more chances than I would if I were your teacher. I just would have failed you. And so after that, it's like, okay, I understand. Janice Smith in the chat, she shared her love languages, and she has gift giving, acts of service, and time. She's like, not in that order, but those three. Okay. Those are mine as well, not the gift part. What did I say? Quality time, acts of service, and words of affirmation. Yeah, those are my three. But yeah. So Melinda, mindless, before we wrap this thing up, the clear why and explaining and that sort of thing, your input, shared experience, and then we'll close this thing up. He always just jump in.
I go first this time.
Just jump right in. Don't be shy.
All right. With the whys, it's I'm a big why. I'm a big question. I question. Sometimes though, I'm gonna throw a little caveat. Like, it's good to ask the why, but it's also better to observe. So like, what happens is sometimes we have like family meetings or whatever. I always like throw a family meeting in every once in a while. And so, like we ask each other questions. I ask them, what I'm saying, what are things that I need to work on, or, what things they need to work on, or what things I think they need to work on. And we do the back and forth with the kids and me and my brother and everybody else that's here. And the thing that I always like to see, and I notice, I figure out like which kid is this way and that way. And I've noticed that the best way to really understand certain things is just to kick back and watch and observe how they suck up information, how you suck up information, and how you apply different lessons from day to day. Because sometimes I notice like one of them would do something that like we didn't talk about like the last meeting, but like the meeting before, they starting to slowly apply that. So I'm like, okay, they need some more time. So I just gotta like, I can't harp on this because they're moving on in a certain way. But then I said
catching on a little bit slower.
Yeah, catching on a little bit slower. And then one of them, what I'm saying, is like, I noticed like they'll like ask me questions, but I see they just ask me questions because they're just trying to stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't trying to apply nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to be extremely proactive. You know what I'm saying? And I catch that.
If I distract him, he go forget.
Right. So, I have to like snap out of it sometimes because they know how to do the question games with me. And I get excited because we're doing the why game. But I didn't realize they're not applying nothing I'm saying. And so, you have to kind of like I said, you got to mix the why with observations to truly get understanding amongst one another.
Agreed. Melinda?
I think that's a really good point. That makes a lot of sense. My son's just a little bit older than yours, Alexis. And one thing I've learned to pay attention and read in parenting books and stuff is, like you said, observe and then ask them, do you want my help, or are you just venting, or do you just need somebody to talk to? Because as a mom, my instinct is to intervene and, like, I'll take care of it. And I'm slowly learning to, like you said, just observe and kind of step back a little bit and be like, are you just having a bad day? You just need to let off some steam? Or I'll flat out ask him, do you want me to, take action to help you on this? And he's a teenager now, so he'll be like,
No.
no, I'll deal with it. So I'm like, okay, well, thanks for sharing it with me, and just let me know if you want me to step in or talk to a teacher. But it seems to work better. To give that choice and to let you know, hey, I'm just here and I'll listen as long as you want, or if you just want to complain, it's perfectly fine, and let me know if you want me to do anything other than listen. That seems to be working pretty well. So sometimes just being present, and everybody, kids and adults, need to let off steam. And it's nice to have somebody to just sit there kind of neutrally and just nod their head and go, I get it.
I get it.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. We'll figure it out, and not necessarily find us or offer a solution or offer to fix it.
They just need to tell somebody about it.
Yeah, exactly. And just be there to say, man, that, but we'll figure it out. Let me know what you need. That seems, I don't know.
Right.
It seems helpful.
Right. Understand. But those were all 7 tips that they gave us, and I want to share that. And like I said, they applied these to business practices, but this honestly is just things that you can use with all your relationships. I mean, even some of these I could use with my mom, because we have a pretty close relationship, but my mom, she doesn't say much. And if I ask too many questions, she gets upset. So it's a way I have to do it. A certain time of the day, I have to do it, or she's just gonna hang up on me. So I'm like, all right, I'll call you back. All right, Ma, I love you.
That's for every time of the day for mine. It don't matter. Morning time, afternoon, evening, don't matter.
Oh my goodness. So Melinda, it was wonderful having you. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't be surprised if you get another invite for one of these Friday night sessions, and I'll send you a link so you can kind of check them out and know if that's something you want to get into, because it gets a little wild with the conversations sometimes. But real quick, housekeeping. I am doing a community love work ritual for the new moon. So I have a link in the community tab on my YouTube. So if you have not gotten in on that, I know some of the people, they aren't on my Discord server and they got it, but it is also on YouTube in the community tab. You have until Monday to do that. Tuesday is too late because I have to prep and actually perform it. So get in on that. And also Valentine's readings. Those will all be recorded, but they're $25, and you can just schedule that whenever the calendar is open. So there's a link for that in the description, and then the love work is in the chat, but I'm going to put it in the comments as well. So people who come back, they can see it in the comments. So if you're watching the replay of this, the love work link is in Discord, the community tab, and in the comments of this video. The readings link is also in the community tab and in the comment, in the description, I'm sorry, for the readings. Okay. So yeah, guys, check Melinda out. She has an entire page on Facebook. Melinda, do you mind if you want to share your information with the people? You're welcome to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, my Facebook page, I have a group and a page. It's Practical Psychic Solutions with Melinda, and then Element Intuitive. I'm a professional psychic. It's what I do. And my website is elementintuitive.com. I do all my readings over the phone. And yeah, and I have, those are, and I'm on Instagram. It's all Element Intuitive.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Go check her out. She is great, guys, because if I say they're good and I go back to them, then they know their stuff. Mindless Maturity, you are so welcome. It's well deserved. Mindless Maturity, you want to share your info with the people before we close out?
Yes. Check me out on Facebook as Mindless Maturity. YouTube as Campbell Greens. Uh, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all minus maturity. Your boy will be back doing the shows next week because this is my last weekend in this home right here. We be permanently located in my
Yay.
new home next week, so it'll be a new surrounding, new setting, or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back at it, and I got some hard hitting topics that's gonna piss a lot of people off, but yeah, it gotta be talked about. Gotta be talked about.
Like,
I understand. That's usually how it goes. It's usually how it goes. But guys, I appreciate you for being here. And like I said, um I'll send you the link, Melinda, so you can check out the Friday night streaming if you would like to do that sometime. I
great.
can,
Thank
include
you.
you on those. And yeah, so no tarot after dark tomorrow, guys. I have family in town. We're celebrating her birthday, but we will resume next Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and be on the lookout for your new general readings. I'm going to start doing those on Monday. Okay. So until next time, I love you. Take care.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Hey,
You're
nice meeting
welcome.
you again.
Bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Well.